In this video, we will talk about data types in Python. You all may be thinking about that this topic has already been covered. We have already talked about integer, float, and string data types in Python. But there is much more than just three data types in Python. Let's talk about it. So, data types in Python represent the type of data stored in a variable. Okay. So, previously I've given you example of glass, right? This is a glass or a beaker which is having suppose 300 ml of capacity, and if I want to pour 400 ml of water in this beaker, is it sufficient? No, it is not. The water, the input is more than what the glass can hold, so we need a bigger glass, suppose which is having 500 ml of capacity. So now it can hold 400 ml of water. So just like that, integers are values like 1, 2, 3, 4. We are storing suppose in a container called int. It is a type of, the type of this beaker was 300 ml, the type of this beaker was 500 ml. So the type to store this kind of values are int, right? Integer. If I want to store more complex number like 1.0113264, now it is, instead of this, I have to use these values with this as well. So this is like floating point. We need to store the values, the whole number, as well as the decimal point of that number as well. So I need a bigger class. I don't need that integer itself. So it is floating, or you can say float. Okay. If the glass is bigger, I can still store 1, and I can store 1.01134 as well because the glass is bigger. So in float, I can also store int values, but it will convert to 1.0. If I store 1 only, it will say 1.0. Okay, it does not have any more values. So if I use 1, that is integer number, to store into float, it will convert to 1.0. I'm just recapping of what we've already learned, right? If I store 1.0 to float, that will again be 1.0. If I store 1.0 to integer, because there is no space for decimal, or it is not its capacity, it will only store 1. It will not store any decimal points. But if I want to store hello, that is high level language like English alphabets, English characters, I cannot store into int and float. It is used for numbers. Is hello a number? No, hello is a character. Hello is a combination of characters. HELLO. How many characters are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 5 characters. So if I want to store hello, I will not store into glasses this 300 ml. I will store into something else. Maybe this is, if integer and float are water. Maybe suppose this is like text in a copy. So I will store in something else which can store this alphabets, which can store this characters. That is called str, string, right? So this three data types we have already talked about. There are more. So what is the definition? Data types in Python represent the type of data stored in a variable. It represents the type of data stored in a variable, that is called data type. I just talked about it, right? Integer, float, string. They define the characteristics of the data and how it can be manipulated. I just told you, if I store 1.0 in int, it will be 1 only. So we can use those characteristics of the data type to manipulate the data itself. If I want 1.0 to be manipulated to just 1, I will use int. I will use characteristics of int data type to change it. Okay. Understanding data type is crucial for proper data handling and processing in healthcare applications. If we require to store age, we will use integer. If we want to if we require to store some number with precision, we will use floats, we will understand based on the problem statement. So the concept is, in Python, common data types are integers, floats and string, but there are more like boolean. We have seen boolean in previous classes as well. So why I've already taught few of the things, like in the previous class I told you if, elif and else. Then the next class I introduced nested if and else. I don't want you to get overwhelmed with the programming. Even in one video, if you understand 20 to 30% of the concept, I will bring a new concept so you can recall it. That if, else, elif is there, so I can do the nested with them. If I know int, float, and string, I can use int, float and string in if and else and if, elif and else conditions. I can use variable to store these values. I don't have to care about how many data types is there, how it is working. First we are learning the programming. So in each class we are learning 20 to 30%. Then we are learning a new topic with new depth on the previous topic that we have already learned. Understand? So we will keep learning all these concepts in detail in upcoming more classes. Understand? So let's talk about these things in detail. So each data type has a specific characteristics and use in healthcare programming. So let's talk about integer. Okay, integer are whole numbers without any decimal points. This is clear to us now. So Python internally manages integers using a fixed amount of memory. We have talked about this in our first classes where we're talking about variables. So this is explained in depth there. So I'm not going to explain here. Amount of memory. So I've already taught that this has certain amount of, suppose this is a beaker. So integer can only hold certain amount of water, that is fixed amount of memory in computational terms. Understand? So Python can store whole numbers but cannot store decimal points because of memory limitations. So I can store, these are the examples of integer values. 25 is integer without decimal, without decimal, without decimal. This is also without decimal, this is also without decimal. Patient ID, days in hospital, dose mg, heart rate, patient age. So integers are crucial for representing discrete quantities in healthcare programming, such as these are discrete values, values without decimal. Patient age can be used for integer, heart rate, medication doses, days in the hospital, and patient ID. ID cannot be in decimal. What do you mean by ID in decimal? It doesn't make sense, right? So patient ID is also in integer. Let's talk about float. So float represents real number with decimal points. It is a real number but with decimal points. Okay. Python internally uses a floating point representation to handle this number. So floating point representation, this is Python. It uses internally floating point representation to handle this number. That is 0 0.6, 0.25. How it handles the memory, you don't have to worry about. That is the power of Python. You just need to use it. Okay. So floats are essential for representing continuous values in her healthcare, like body temperature. What is a, we can use body integer for body temperature, but we want more precision, like this one, 98.6. We want well, zero point 0.6 is also holding some value. If we use integer for this one, only 98 we can store, right? So float makes more sense here. Like drug concentrations, height, lab results, and BMI. This all should be in floating point. String. String are sequence of characters. Okay, characters like A, B, C, D. So if you want to store characters or sequence of characters like your name or anything, you can store one character as well. You can store multiple characters paragraph as well, but it should be enclosed in two double quotes, starting and ending. Python internally represents string as array of Unicode characters. You don't need to worry about Unicode characters now, but Unicode is something that is kind of, we have talked about Puppet also, right? Puppet is kind of a community. So Unicode is certain set of characters that is handling by community itself. Okay, all around the world uses Unicode. Your smiley comes under Unicode. All the smiley you use on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram comes under Unicode. So every code A, B, C, D, because computer doesn't know A, B, C, D, right? Computer only understands 0 and 1. So the meaning of A is written in Unicode, which is then converted to binary, that is 0 and 1. So this is being handled by all world. It's not like US handles different code for A, and Canada uses for different code for A, India uses different code for A. Everyone uses the same code for A. That is what this means, Unicode characters. So patient name, hospital name, disease code, see it has numbers also, because it is a string. You cannot add this number, right? So you can write a paragraph also. Paragraph can contain numbers but should be enclosed in double quotes. Integer and float you can perform for calculation, but string is used for storing sequence of characters. 1, 2, 3, 4 is also a character. A, B, C, D is also a character. This is special character like colon, hyphen is also a character. Decimal is also a character. But for integer and float, numbers belonging to 0 to 9 is without double quotes is number. Understand? So this is a string. What is the string used for? Strings are vital for representing textual information in healthcare, such as patient name, hospital name, disease code, medication names, and doctor's notes. Okay, so suppose this is a disease. The code is ICD-10 colon J45, whatever may be the precision or whatever the numbers related to that disease. We are just using it as code. Okay, Boolean. We have also seen Boolean, and I told you that we will see later in the class. Boolean is also a data type in Python, not all language. In Python, it is some languages have Boolean also. Some uses small true, small false. In Python, we use true and false capital. So you cannot change Python data type. So if you want to use it, you have to write something like this without double quotes, and first letter should be capital, other should be small. So that will make it true. Okay. So Boolean is also 0 and 1. So Boolean represents true value, true or false. Internally, they are implemented as 0, 1 for true and 0 for false. I've already talked about it. Okay. So if you want to use Boolean, just give it a variable name, assign the value of Boolean, either true or false. So where you can use Boolean, suppose is patient admitted? You wanted certain condition like if and else. You are checking if patient is having this report, and if patient is admit and if certain conditions are there, then you are making patient admitted as true. So based on your condition, whatever the requirement is. If patient has allergies, suppose you have done all the test report, and from the coding you're checking one by one. If elif, something like that. If everything matches, then you will do is patient has allergies, false or true based on the condition. Is test positive? True. In these cases, we will use booleans. Is surgery required? True or false? False. Is medication completed? We are just saving it as true. This is not string. It will be string only if I enclose with double quotes. But this is not boolean anymore. This is not 0 and 1 for computer, but this is now. Okay, that is true and false. So list, now this is a complex data structure, but first let's understand the use case of boolean. Boolean are fundamental for representing binary condition. Binary means two values, 0 and 1, in healthcare, like patient admission, allergies, tax, etc. required for medication. Okay, so whenever you only have to require like 0 and 1, true or false, use boolean. List, so this is native to Python only. You will not see list in C++, Java, C or other languages. This is native to Python only. So this will take time, little time to understand. So list are ordered collection of items. Python internally uses dynamic arrays to implement list. So as we are not familiar with the concept of array, let me talk about array a bit. Just a simple one. Okay. So here we are talking about data types. So array in other languages is nothing but, suppose I want to create A is holding 2. What is the type of this A? A is of type integer, right? Now, if I want to store 10 variables, 10 more variables, like if I want to store 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are 10 values. Suppose I want to store 10 values. What I have to do? I have to write A. Let me remove this. I have to write A, B equals to 2, C equals to 3, D equals to 4. Like that, I will store till 10. So how many variables I have? I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, suppose I have this many variables to store only 10 values. Now I have to store 1000 values. This process is very redundant and not optimized. I have to write, I have to think about 1000 different variable names, and this is not a good naming convention also, right? There are not 1000 characters in the alphabet, right? There are only 26. So what should I do? Should I write like a underscore 1, a underscore 2, a underscore 3? This is better than this version. Obviously this version is better than this version, but still someone has to code it, right? Suppose now you have written the code, your now more patients are coming. Now you have a patient of 10,000, you have a limit. So now you have to again sit and do for 9,000 more. It doesn't make sense. Something is wrong. It is good for small coding, A, B, C, for these 10 values, but it is somehow not making sense for bigger ones. So what should I do? So in other languages, we have something called array. Array is a data type to store lot of values in a single variable. So if I have to make array, I will make array like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the square bracket you can see. Okay, in other languages, I'm just talking about in Python kind of. So array. So what is this data type of array? A is holding all the values of integer. So A is array of type integer. A is two thing. A is two thing. A is an array. A is not a normal variable. A is a special type of variable which is called array. And this array contains which kind of type? Array contains integer kind of type. So in Java, if you check, you cannot store. Now, okay, let me talk about different requirement. Okay. Now my requirement is to store 1, 2.3, 4, 5, 6.7, 8, 9, 7, 3 and 10. Now these are 4 number because these are decimal. Okay. Now my requirement here is this is combination of mix. It is not just integer. Previously what I was doing, I was storing single value a equals to 1, maybe b equals to 2.3. But again, this is a different problem statement now. Again, I have a issue now that I have 10,000 values. I have to create 10,000 variables. But this time I have mixed values. I only don't have integer. I have floating point as well. So in other programming languages, I have to write something like a equals to 1. It will only do 1 at a time. It cannot store mix data type. 2.3, 6.7. So I'm storing a. Now what is the type of a? A is of type array of integer. Now what is b? B is again array, but the type is float, right? It contains all floating numbers. So this is how I have to use it. It is still very good. I can store all the values of, but what happens if I want to store everything at the same, right? So in Python, it gets solved. In other programming languages, there is the option, but in Python, it gets solved. Or either what I have to do for Java and all, I have to convert everything as float and store in B. that is array of float, I can use 1.0, 4.0, 5.0. That is also a solution, right? But what happens if I have to store integer, float, string in a single part? Okay, string, float in a single variable, I will use list. In Python it is called list. The syntax is same. I will do 1, 2.3, 3, 4.4, 5, 6.6, 7, 8, 9, and at the last I am storing hello. Random. So this is not an array of any data type. In Python we call this as list. So list is a special data type. It is itself a data type. List is a data type that stores multiple items. Okay, so this is what happens here. Lists are ordered collection of items. So whatever is in the first place will be in the first place. I will tell you that how to use it. Python internally uses dynamic array to implement list. Okay, now what it means. So see these patient items. Patient symptoms contain all the symptoms. And what is the type of this one? str. But where all this str are storing, it is storing in a list. Okay, I will show you in a bit that how to check all these things. Test result contains everything of integer, but what is the type of this one? List containing all integer. Here list containing all string. Here list containing all string. Here list containing string and integer. This is integer, this is float. Here list containing all string, even though this dates, but it is enclosed in single or double quotes. Okay, string are either you can store with single or you can store with double quotes. Okay, so these are variables that are using this part. So let me first connect to my runtime in Google Colab as always. Then we'll talk about how to use it. Okay, until it is connecting, I will tell you that how to use it. In the concept of array, now suppose I want this 9 value. If I want to print this one, if I want to print the value of 2, what should I do? I will print b. I will just use print b. What computer will do? Computer will print 2, right? Computer will print 2. It is simple as that. But how should I print here? I only have one variable. I only have one variable, which is a, which is holding everything, and it is a list. So how can I access my values? We can access by value this value by indexing. Let me talk about indexing here. In real world, we start our index from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We start counting from 1. But in any programming language, in most of the programming language, we start from 0. So 0 is the first index, first is the second, second is the third. I'm not talking about position. We are talking about index. If we talk about position, first, second, third, we talk about this one. But when we talk about index, index start from 0. I will talk about what is index now. So let me write that array again. 1, 2.2, 3, 4.4, 5, 6.6, 7, 8, 9, then hello. What is this variable? A. So at index 0, let me write with a different color. Index 0 is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So how many numbers I have? From 0 to 9, that is total number of 10. I have 10 values, index starting from 0 till 9. So if I want to access 2.2, I have to write a, then square bracket of 1. If I do print of this one, it will print 2.2. Understand? If I want to print 1, that is the first part, I just have to write print a, then square bracket, not simple bracket. I have to write 0. What it will print? It will print 1. If I have to write hello, what I will do? I will do the same thing with a of 9, because I know 9 is the last number. It will print hello. Understand? So it will print hello. The same thing happens from the back side. If you don't know what is the last number, here we only have 10. So I know that 9, 10 minus 1, because index start from 0. So 10 minus 1 is 9. So if I want to know the last number, I should know how many total number of item are present in list. Understand? But suppose this is like millions of records and I want to print the last one. So I want to print the last one. What should I do? How will I get that on printing 9, on using 9, I will get the last number? To do that, I just have to use minus 1. If I print a of minus 1, it will start from this side. This starts from 0 to 9. Here it starts from minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and this will be minus 10. Okay. So index starts from two sides in Python. From left to right, it starts from 0 till the last number. If you don't know the last number, just starts from minus 1. But you should know for the first number, you should know what is the length of the list. Okay. So if you don't know the length, just and you want to access the first one, just access with 0. If you don't know the last and want to access the last one, use minus 1. Okay, simple as that, indexing. If you're confused, don't worry about it, just use from 0 to whatever the number is. I will show you other methods as well. So this is list. List is combination of different things. Okay, so let me create this list. It is our instance is ready. Let me create a code and write the same thing. So I'm writing temporary list demo. This is the variable I've created, and I'm creating one comma. It should be separated by comma. All the items inside it should be separated by comma. Space or no space, it doesn't matter. Okay, but comma should be there between each item. So I'm writing 3, then 4.4, not comma, 4.4, then 5, 6, 7.8, then 8, 99, and right, I'm typing hello. Okay, this is my list is ready. So let's perform few operation. I want to access last element, first element. So what I should write? What is the variable name? Temporary list demo. Let me write temporary list demo. Then I will use 0. What should be the output? Output should be 1, because I'm accessing 0th index. I'm talking about index, not position. What is the 0th index? 1. Print it. We got 1. Now I want last. In this one, I know that last is 9th because it is 10th. Right? Total number of element is 10. What I got? Hello. I don't know the last number. What should I do? Minus 1. Let's see if I'm getting hello or not. Hello. Correct? Now I want to check the counterpart from this one. I don't know 0 is the first. Obviously I know because it starts from 0, right? But I want to check from back side. That will be minus 10. 1 and 1. Correct. Now I want to try that what is the data type. You can do with any variable. Now we are learning a new function. Smaller one. It is very small. I am writing type. Okay, just like I was writing variable, type will return what is the type. Then I want to print that type. So I want to find the type of temporary list demo. What is the type? Type is list. So if I put a equals to 0, now this is a new variable. We are used to this one, right? I want to find the type of this one. Print type of a. What should be the type of a? What is this value it is holding? It is holding integer. Let's run it. Okay, it gave me, right? Let me segregate this one. Yeah, this is the new one. Okay, so it gave me integer for this one, right? Now let me check print type of. Now I want to find, I want to go inside the list and check type of element, type of item. So I should take my variable and check which type I want to check. Suppose I want to check -1. That means I am accessing temporary list demo, this variable I am accessing, and accessing which item? -1. What is -1? This is -1. Okay, so I am checking the type of this value. I can do that as well. It is string str. So see, it is very dynamic. You can store multiple values, you can check type. And if you, I told you, right, this 9, if you don't know this, there is another function of list provide you a lot of different functionality. And this Python, I want to check len of this variable. Length will give me total number of elements, not index. Okay, 10 is my total number of index, right? I have 10. Now how can I use this to access it? So see, what length is giving? Length is giving me 10, and I'm using the 10 to print here. So 10 is printing. If I don't use it, it will not print. Okay, so now I want to use to find this length, because right now I've inputted 9, but what happens if I don't know it is 9, 10 or 1 million, right? So instead of this one, instead of 9, because length is giving me the length, right? Length is giving me the length. So instead of 9, I will use length. Length of temporary list demo will give me number. That number will be 10. So instead of 9, I will have 10 here. Instead of 9, I will have 10 here. Then everything else is same. It just look big, but everything else is same, right? So it will look like this. Just let me copy. It will look like, first Python will solve this. What will be the, what will the answer? Answer will be 10. Then temporary list of demo will be 10 is nothing. We don't have 10. We need to check index. But it is 10. How will I make it 9? I just have to use -1, right? But where? This will give me 10. So after this one, I should do minus. So this will give me 10 like this. Then there is one minus, that is here. Then 1. Then 1. Everything is happening inside this square bracket, because I want to check index. How will I get? This is calculation only, right? This is just dynamic calculation. So let me remove this, because I suppose I don't know whether it is 9, 10 or something. So this will give me the length of the list, that is this one. -1 will give me the last index, right? 10 minus 1 is 9. So this will be 9. Let's run it. So it should print, this should print hello. So after 10, which is this line, it is printing hello. So now it is dynamic. You don't need to remember the last index. Even if you don't know, you can do length of your list -1, because length will give you total length, not the final index. Final index will be just the -1. So whatever you can experiment with this one, just do it. This will help you in understanding the list and getting your hands on how to experiment, how to do trials, how to quickly play with list. Okay, so list is a very powerful data type. The reason for not telling list in the first class, because integer, float and string are kind of the basic one, but list is made on top of those. We are using integer, float and string inside the data type itself, that is Python specific data type list. Understand? So list is a very important one. Now this you can easily understand and how to access this value, just variable and their index point 0, 1, 3, etc. Okay, so I'm keeping this one as it is. Now what is the use case? Lists are crucial for, there are a lot of other operation of list also, but I'm not talking about here, it will be very overwhelming. Okay, lists are crucial for storing and manipulating ordered set of data structure in healthcare. These are ordered 0, 1, 2, 3, so it is very important. Okay, so these are ordered paired of data set data in healthcare, such as patient symptom, test result, medication history, vitals and appointment dates. Okay, you can store it one by one. So if you're storing appointment date like 15, that is 5th month, 6th month, 7th month, so it is one by one, right? It is not going to change. If you're storing 8th next time, it's not like 5 is coming after 8 or something like that. Whatever you are storing in ordered, it will be as it is. Okay, now let's talk about tuples. So tuples are very similar to list but immutable. Okay, so why it is immutable? In list you can add new variable, you can add this value, you can delete it. I didn't talk about list here, but in list you can do addition, you can do deletion, but in tuples you cannot do it. Whatever you mention in the tuples cannot be changed. Understand? Python tuples cannot be changed. Let's immute. That is the meaning of immutable. Python internally uses a more memory efficient structure for tuples compared to list. List is not that efficient because we can store anything and we can extend till 1 million. Suppose we started from only one index, we can add more. Okay, now suppose I'm taking this example. Don't get overwhelmed, we will talk about this later. So suppose this is temporary list demo and I just want to append new string. Because I want to append string, I'm writing like this. I want to append healthcare. Okay, and before that I want to print. Okay, so I've added healthcare to temporary list. What was the original list? Like this. Let's see what is present in the, because we already ran what is present in temporary list. So I will just print it to check whether it got added or not. So what should be the output? We should see this, but at the end we should see healthcare. Append means add this value to this list. This list dot append will add this value at the end of this list. So let's see. I'm running it. You can see this is the original list. We just added something here at the end, that is healthcare. It got added at the end. So this is mutable. We are able to change the length. Now if I want to check the length of it, what will be the length? Length of temporary, let me just copy it. You can copy and paste. What will be the length? The length is 11 now. Previously it was 10. Here it is 11. So we can change it. If you want to pop it, if you want to delete the last element, you can just do dot pop. If we do dot pop, it will pop the last element. Let's see, and print. After popping, I am just printing the list. This was the list elements. I popped it, so last element got removed. It is hello. So it is mutable. I'm able to delete the elements. I'm able to add the elements. These are the functions used. We will talk about functions later. So that's why I'm not bringing pop and append now, but I'm just showing you what list can do. There are a lot more list can do, but this is just a basic data structure functionality we are learning. But tuples we cannot change. We cannot delete. We cannot add. Whatever we have mentioned, it is present. What is the use of tuple then? See, if I want to store patient info like John Doe 25 and male, I don't want this information to be changed. If anyone can change it, they can make it something, they can change the name different, they can change the gender different. So I don't want it. I don't want this blood pressure, cholesterol, and glucose to change. I want to keep as it is. Then I will use tuples. Okay. Right now it is only one patient. What happens if I want to input 1,000 patient and I don't want any of the patient info to be changed? Okay. Then I will use tuples. So tuples are suitable for situation where the data should remain constant, such as patient information. It should remain constant. No one should be able to test it, change it. Test parameters, whatever test results are, it should be constant. Geographical coordinates, like the coordinates, suppose your hospital location or your house location is at this place. If Google Map is able to change coordinate, your house will be changing as well, right? So we don't want our coordinates to change. We want it to be constant. Medical code, particular medicine code should remain constant, it should not change. So those things will be stored in tuples. So tuples is also a data type. Understand? So if I copy this, and if you want to see the type of this one, let me do patient info. I will copy and I will just print the type of this one. Print type of this one. See, it is saying tuple. So how to write in tuple? List was enclosed with square bracket. This is enclosed with normal brackets. Okay, just the brackets. So if something is enclosed with just brackets, those are tuples. Understand? New sets. If anything is enclosed with curly brackets, just curly brackets, these are sets. So sets are unordered collection of unique elements. Okay, these are not ordered. Python internally uses hash table to implement sets. Okay, so these are not ordered. Python uses some hash table. We will not talk about it. But sets are useful for representing collection of unique elements in the data set. So why we will use sets? Sets is used because we can't say that this is the first index, second index, third index. We will not get, sets will not guarantee that. But sets will guarantee that whatever the elements are inside this one are unique. Okay, let me run it and then give you a new example. So in this one, everything is unique. Okay, let me create a new set where things are not unique. Let me create a dummy set. I'm just, my variable name is dummy set, and I'm creating, how we create set we create with curly brackets, and just creating 0 1 1 2 2 2 4 5 6 7. Okay, now I want to print it. I just store the value. I just stored the value in dummy set, and I want to print the dummy set. What should be the output? Why we are using set? Set will only store unique values. So set, after storing into the memory, cleared everything and only stored the unique values. So even though I have inputted lot of duplicate values like 1 1 3 2s are there, it will only store unique values. It will remove all the duplicates. That is the power of set. It is very, very important. So patient condition, I don't want two hypertension, two diabetes in my data set. I don't want two penicillin, two peanuts in my data set. I only want unique values. So sets are useful for representing collection of unique elements in healthcare like allergies, patient condition, available test and medication classes. So suppose you are having some example where multiple patients are coming, where same patient is coming multiple times, and you want your data set to not get filled with it, right? You don't want your system to get filled with it, so you will use set that time, so that it will only store one unique values for that patient. Understand? Now this is the final data type, and if you want to see the type of set, just write type of dummy set. TYPE we will do. It will show us set. So set is curly brackets, with comma separated values. Tuple is brackets, just a general bracket with comma separated values. It can be anything, just for like the set. You can store integer, float, anything. Okay. And this one is list is square brackets, comma separated values. Now the final, we have more, but these are the most important one we will use while learning AI. Also, we will use this kind of data structure. Okay. It will be complex, not that simple. So this is dictionary. Let me talk about dictionary in a separate file so that it will be easier to understand. Let's talk about dictionary. It is a bit complex, but once you understand, it is easier to read. Okay, easier to understand as well. Let me put on a separate slide. That is this one. Dictionary. 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 So we already saw lists are enclosed with square bracket, tuples are simple bracket, and set are curly bracket, right? Dictionary is also curly bracket, but not just comma separated. Dictionary follows something called, let me write with different term. These all are comma separated, but not dictionary. Dictionary follows something, I don't like this color here because I want to, dictionary follows something that is key colon value, then you can use comma. See, I'm just using this terminology to show like this is start, this is end. Same thing, this is start, this is end. You can write in a new line, you can write in the same line, it doesn't matter for code. Okay, for just showing purpose and showing it, I can also show this like that, this one, comma and comma. This is same as this is, right, this representation. So don't worry about that. For the sake of showing it clearly, I'm showing here. So key and value, then another key with different key should be unique, then value, then new key, unique key, then value can be anything. So this is what dictionary looks like. So what is the difference between set and dictionary? Set stores comma separated value, dictionary also does that, but dictionary should have format of key and value for each item. In set, I can write 1 2 3. There is no key value pair here, only one item. But if I have to store dictionary, I have to store something like 1 colon 1, 2 colon 2, 3 colon 3. This is the syntax. Syntax is key value. Value can be anything. It can be hello, 1, 2, 3, floating point. But key should be unique. If I put 1 here, I cannot put 1 here. Okay, I will show you the example. Let's show the example. I'm just talking about syntax. This is how dictionary we create dictionaries. Understand? So in the same line, see, this is the same representation. If I just put after comma, if I put enter, it will become something like what I showed you in the code, in the notepad, right? It is same. Just the representation, you can represent this. Python will not throw any error. It does not care about lines here. This patient info, this will check the start and end, then only the variable will complete. Understand? So I'm putting like this. After comma, you can put enter, and same thing. So this is patient info. Now, if I want to store something like name can be John Doe. Age is 25, then comma. Again, see, comma was there. This is a single item, single item, single item. Understand? What is the length? Length here is 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 items are there in patient info. Let's, in one item you will have key value pair as shown in the diagram, key and value. This is key can be number, key can be string. Okay, what is the value? Value can be anything, it can be string, value can be list also, value can be integer also, value can be float also, value can be anything, but it is separated by colon. Okay, now suppose if I want to store something like, let me write it down. Let's create our dummy dict. Dict means dictionary. dummy. I'm putting any variable name. Dummy dict equals to, I just want to store something like in one. I'm just making my key as value underscore one. Okay, key should be some unique value always. See here, keys are not repeating name, age, gender. If I repeat it, it will throw error. Okay, now in the value one, I want to store list 1 2 3 4, then comma. This is the second item. Now in value 2, I want to store only string, that is hello, and third item I want to store value underscore 3, then colon, that is key colon value. Now value I want to store is integer, then comma, then that's it. Okay, last value you don't need comma, but if you put comma it will not throw error. So it is good syntax to write comma after every key comma value pair. Okay, this is called a pair. These are total items, so there are total 3 pairs, it means 3 items. So if I put length of dummy dict, what should be length? Its length should be 3. It means 3 pairs are there. Understand, it has 3 pairs. Now how to access it? Now I will just print, not this one, I just want to print dummy dict of its key. If I mention key, I can access the value, but key should be unique. That's why key should be unique. If key are same, how can I access? If it is, this one is also value 1, how Python will know if I'm accessing value 1, it should give me this value or this value. Understand? So key should be unique. In every item, key should be unique in whole dictionary. This is my dictionary, dummy dict. This is start and this yellow is end. In between, whatever the values are, key should be different. If I create a different dummy dict, I can have the same key. See, this is a dummy dict 1, this is dummy dict, this is a different. I change the variable name. So although the contents are same, because my variable is different, I can have value 1 in this one and value 1 in this also, because the variable is different. But if the variable is 1, if the dictionary is 1, I cannot have multiple keys inside it with the same name. Okay, so if I want to access value 1, let me enter it. You can access its values. Understand? Now there are few functionalities of, like list, we have something called dummy underscore dict dot keys. So if you put keys, you can get all the names, because you might not, if you have 1000 keys, how you will know that these are many keys are present? So if you put dot keys, it will give you all the list of the keys. It will give you all the list of the keys. So value 1, value 2, value 3 are the list of keys. Same, if you want to put, just put the variable name of the dictionary and put values. You will understand this bracket and all. These are called functions of dictionary. We have not yet learned about functions, but once we learn the functions, it will be very clear. So I'm just showing you the demonstration of how to work with dictionary. But even if you understand till this part, that is more than enough. Understand? So if I put values, I will get all the values. So if I put keys, I will get all the keys. If I put if I put dot values, I will get all the values. Understand? So this is very, very powerful. You will understand this part, that why it is very, very powerful. So we will talk about it later. Okay. Right now we are just focusing on understanding the data types of Python. So use case. Dictionary are indispensable for representing structure information in healthcare, like patient details, just like this one. We can have multiple dictionary. We can have patient 1, patient 2, patient 3, and store the information like this in the dictionary. Just like I was storing list here, I can store dictionary inside dictionary. Suppose I'm giving you example. I can store value 4 and I can store another dictionary inside it, like this dictionary. Let me store this whole thing inside here. So now my value 4 is storing a dictionary itself. How you, let me show you how it will look like. If I put value 4, am able to get this whole dictionary. So just like that, I can store 1,000 person, like person 1, person 2, person 3. And then if I want to access the information of person 3 or person 4, I will get all the information. Maybe I will store mobile number, I will store their reports. So this is very structured data. This is very structured format. So dictionary are indispensable for representing structured information in healthcare, like patient details, test results, medication, and appointment information. Wherever you are using your healthcare machines, it is storing structured information. It may not be dictionary, but it is something like structured only. So this has a meaning towards it. Okay. So dictionary is very close to that structure. So that's why it is very, very important to understand dictionary and to work with dictionary. So understanding these data types like integer, float, list, set, tuples, and others is foundational for building robust and effective healthcare application in Python. If you don't know this, you cannot work with Python. You don't know how to store values, which data type to use, and where to use it. Whether representing patient information, test results, or medication details, choosing the right data type ensures accurate and efficient data processing in a healthcare domain. So in this class, we have talked about all the data types, all the major data types that is used in Python, like integer, float, string, boolean, list, tuples, sets, and dictionary. These are all the major data types that is required for this course. And make sure to practice each one of them. Make sure to play with each one of them on, because this requires syntax information. Because you are very new to coding, you will miss some comma there, you will miss some double quotes there, you will miss some values there and all. So you will get errors. Right now I'm not getting errors, but even if I remove this one bracket, my code will not run. It will show error. So solving this error is also the part of the course. I cannot solve on the video because I'm just introducing errors. But you have errors in your code. When you're writing it, you don't know the syntax. You need to learn it. You need to understand it. So once you understand, you will get errors. Try to fix the errors so that you will understand Python more. Python will give you that where you are having issue. See, it is giving that on this print, this bracket is never closed. So you will check, read this line and check, maybe I missed something, right? So try to fix it, run it, then you will understand all the data types, syntax, how to use it, what I'm missing, and all those things, right? So in this class, we have covered a very important topic in depth, that is data types. See you in next video.